We play and call it work.
Hey everybody, Matthew here and Tarik from MiniWarGaming.com. Welcome to another Space Marine review video. If you haven't already watched some of the series, this is the series where Tarik and I are sitting down and combing through the new Space Marine Codex. We've already done 4 videos. The first one giving an overview, and the next 3 covering the Gladius Strike Force and all its formations, because there was a lot there.
Yeah,
there was a lot. That's probably now that we've done that, I'm like, that's probably the biggest change.
The biggest, yeah.
Because there's a lot of, as you're going to see, the next thing we're going to do is go through all the units. I would say we're going to go through all of them, but like some of them in more detail than others, because some of the changes are very minor. Yeah. So there's a lot of little changes here and there, points adjustments, slight rule, slight rule changes, some new options. But definitely the biggest change was the Gladius Strike Force. So if you haven't watched those videos yet, go back and do that. If you're watching this on our website, then you can just look at the playlist below and you can click those. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go to MiniWarGaming.com and you can search for them there. Either way, we're continuing at the whole format of doing 2 videos per day. So this one's for free, obviously, it's on YouTube. And the next one, which will continue the discussion of going through the units, will be at the link below in the MiniWarGaming Vault. And of course, we appreciate everybody who becomes a Vault member, as that is what allows us to keep the lights on and keep making videos. So you've made a lot of notes. We've been poring over those notes. And so we're going to start this video. Our goal is to get through all of the special characters, all the named characters, because a lot of people like to use those. And so there could be, sometimes a minor change can make a big difference on when you actually go to play them. Yeah. And then some of the changes that we've seen are kind of like, all right.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's interesting that you wonder what goes through game designers' minds, and they're like, you know what, let's change this for this. And it's like,
why?
It's okay. We'll do a 10-point reduction here, a 35-point reduction here, because, you know, reasons. I doubt they have any like spreadsheet that gives them a way to calculate points, because it would be impossible. There's too many factors.
Yeah.
But let's go through them.
Okay.
All right. So we'll do these relatively quickly, because, like I said, a lot of them haven't changed, or their changes are rather insignificant,
or their changes essentially made them the same.
Yeah, they just named them differently.
Yeah.
So let's start with Sicarius. Captain Sicarius, Ultramarine 2nd Company Captain. Yeah. What's changed with him?
Essentially, he's got a reduction by 10 points.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there have been other changes.
Yeah, but it's basically name changes or fusing 2 rules together, or, you know.
The warlord traits have changed, and so all the automatic warlord traits that these guys have had, those obviously have changed as well. Yes. And so, like, his new warlord trait is Rights of War.
But that was the same exact, like, the rules for Rights of War are the same exact
as what he had before.
As he had before.
Yeah, so it just forces you to take this warlord trait where everybody gets to use his leadership and his entire detachment. Yeah. And it doesn't say while he's alive.
No.
You would assume that that's the case, but it just says all models in your warlord's detachment can use his leadership value in place of their own.
But, like, would that make sense if, like, he's dead, then...
Well, we don't know. Making sense is not...
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's not the way to look at the rules. You have to just kind of figure it out, because a lot of things will say, while the warlord is alive, you get +1 to reserves. Or it'll say, everybody within 12 inches of the warlord gets this. Well, obviously, if he's dead, neither of those apply. So this one, I would say they all get leadership 10. Yeah. Because it does not say while he's alive. So, whatever. I don't know if that's changed over the last one. It's leadership 10. Yeah, and definitely people could debate that. Although, rules is written. We can talk about rules as intended, but the rules as written is very clear. Yeah. That it doesn't say while he's alive. It just says they can use it. And that's an entire detachment. If he's the warlord. Yeah. If he's the warlord. So let's move on from him. Not much has changed. Chief Librarian Tigurius.
No change.
No change. Yeah.
No change at all.
Except his warlord trait, which used to be that he could give like a one-time prescience use to somebody within 12 inches. Yeah. And now it says Storm of Fire. At the start of each of your shooting phases, nominate a friendly unit within 12 inches of your warlord that is drawn from the same chapter. The ranged weapons have rending until the end of the phase. So that can make a big difference. Imagine just bolters with rending.
Can you imagine?
That alone could make a difference.
That's disgusting.
Or, you know, devastators with rending. Or like glass cannons with rending or something like that. Although you don't need rending on AP2 weapons. Wow. But heavy bolters, there you go. If you had like a heavy bolter group of devastators, all with rending. So that's a change. So he hasn't changed, but if he's your warlord, then everybody, then he gets that. Then, yeah. So, but somebody else could also have that warlord trait by being your warlord. What about Cassius? Chaplain Cassius.
No change either.
No change, except once again his warlord trait.
Yeah, like all the warlord traits either have been shuffled around or, you know, have added a buff. I mean, I had...
Yeah, now so basically he causes fear, and you have to take the fear test on 3d6.
Yes.
For all the people who care about fear. Which it's only going to be... yeah, you have to be in base contact with the model that has fear to do the fear test.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You never know, that might come into play. Depends on what it used to be. Sergeant Telion's changed a bit.
Sergeant Telion is no longer a replacement, but he is an addition now. So
hey, you used to upgrade your scout squads. You used to upgrade them to have Telion.
Yes.
And he'd be part of their squad.
And he'd replace the sergeant.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now he's an independent character.
Yes.
Who can only join scouts.
But he can be by himself.
If he really wants to.
If he really wants to.
Yeah. What else has changed about him? A couple other things have changed, right?
He's got an extra wound. And
being no longer just a sergeant, now he's an independent character.
Yes,
so makes sense.
Precisely, yeah. And he no longer has acute senses.
That could make a difference if you're infiltrating your scouts. Like,
yeah.
You know, sticking them with a group of scouts and getting the outflank. But they're all usually sniping, and so they don't want to move, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
They don't have relentless, so they get to outflank where they want and then snap fire.
Yeah.
So, especially with the scout formation,
yeah,
which gives them all stealth.
Well, as
long as they stay still,
Precisely.
But they have to infiltrate for that, right?
Would that work? But then would that work with the second rule for the formation, which I forget the name of?
The one where they get precision shots, which they all have anyways, because they're all snipers.
Yeah.
They don't have to be snipers, but they usually are.
They usually are. Yeah, that's what you want to field them as.
Yeah. So how do you take him then? Let me just quickly check. The Gladius Strike Force, which formation allows you to bring him? Oh yeah, I think he's just in the scout formation.
Yeah, because you can option.
Yeah, 0 to 1 Sergeant Telion. So he'd have the rules as well.
Yeah.
So he could infiltrate with a group or by himself and have stealth until he moves. Which he's got that heavy sniper thing that fires twice.
Yes.
And so he probably won't want to move anyways. So yeah, that's cool. He seems like an interesting upgrade.
Yeah, I think it's a definitely interesting.
Then we've got Sergeant Kronos Spear of McCrag.
Yeah.
Any changes?
No, he's got an extra wound.
So he was only 1 wound before?
Yeah.
That's weird. To have an independent character with 1 wound.
Yeah.
So, and then we got Corsaro Khan, the White Scars Master of the Hunt.
Yes.
He's changed one little thing, right?
Yeah, his Master of the Hunt is no longer for dedicated transports because they've done away with dedicated transports.
Well, they still have dedicated transports.
Yeah, but like as if you're looking at the unit itself, so like, you know, drop pods, rhinos, and razorbacks are now fast attack rather than dedicated transports.
They can be.
They can be, yeah. They can be.
So it would include ones you brought outside of the dedicated transports.
Yeah, yeah.
But most of them are dedicated transports anyways. And so really...
Yeah, well, they can be taken as a dedicated transport. If you look at their profile,
yes,
they are a fast attack, and then they can be taken as a dedicated transport by certain units.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just that you won't often see them not taken as dedicated transports.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because if you're bringing a Gladius Strike Force, and there's no way to bring rhinos and razorbacks without them being dedicated. So all that's changed is it says instead of dedicated transports, then it's any rhino and a razorback.
Yeah.
Anything that's embarked.
Drop pods anymore. Because drop pods used to be a dedicated transport.
Well, they still are. But getting a scout on a drop pod would do nothing.
Yeah.
Because they gained the scout special rule.
That's true.
And you can't scout move a drop pod.
Well,
because it's not on the table. You can't deploy a drop pod and then redeploy it 12 inches away.
It's it's actually here.
Like some people try to do with fortifications. Get fortification scout and it's like, look at it. Rip. So, which
the building moves by
rules is written, it's allowed to do it, but it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make
So, Vulkan Heston, the Salamander's Forge Father. Now, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's got no change.
No change.
Yeah.
But his warlord trait, surely. He's got Feel No Pain. Did he not have Feel No Pain before?
I haven't written anything about that. I think I wrote all the warlord traits. I figured I don't know. I thought we would go over warlord traits and then we go over.
Sure, it's just that these ones would affect the model specifically.
Yeah.
That's okay. So he has Iron Resolve, which gives him Feel No Pain. I can't remember if he had that before. But other than that, he still has the Forge Father special rules, which lets all Meltaguns, Kami Meltas, and Multi-Meltas have Mastercrafted. Yeah. And he's got all his regular stuff. So he's the cool Salamander guy.
He's a cool.
Oh, yeah, I like him for my Salamanders.
Yeah.
Shadow Captain Shrike.
Shrike had no change except for again his
Warlord trait. All right, so he's the Raven Guard guy.
Yeah.
Captain Lysander.
Lysander, his Champion of Humanity, Warlord trait again, it has been exchanged for Iron Resolve,
Which is Feel No Pain.
His Icon of Obstinacy has rerolls Fear Test now,
as well as
morale and pinning.
Yeah, he's got the 12-inch bubble, or is it 12 or 6?
12.
Yeah, 12-inch bubble where everybody that are Imperial Fists can reroll failed morale and pinning and now fear. Yeah. And his Fists of Dorn have changed slightly
to a +6 strength versus a solid 10.
Yeah, and then the difference there, it won't come up very often, but if you have something that reduces a model strength, then it will affect this weapon. Yeah. Whereas before, if the weapon itself has a strength of 10, then which is strange for a melee weapon. Yeah. Because it was one of the few melee weapons
that had strength 10.
that actually had a strength.
Oh, really?
Because all the other ones are like user +2 or
which
or ×2 or something.
Yeah.
They were based off of the user strength. So it looks like they just decided to fix that. And this fix it by being +6.
Yeah.
So if he gets like enfeebled or something, then he would have a lower strength, which could affect instant death.
Yeah.
But often won't make a difference.
Yeah.
So still concussive, mastercrafted, specialist, and unwieldy.
Yes.
I just silenced my phone. Just realized it's not silenced.
Silence fine as well.
Yeah. So Lysander, minor changes there.
Yes, he's got the Oath of Rin special.
Oh, sorry. So now we're on to Pedro Cantor.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh, sorry. I was jumping ahead. Sorry, guys.
So Pedro Cantor, the Crimson Fist Chapter Master.
Yeah, he's got Oath of Rin as a special rule.
So this is new.
Yes.
So everybody in this detachment have preferred enemy orcs and also models within 12 inches of him in his detachment add 1 to their attacks.
Yeah, he didn't have add 1 to their attacks before.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And everything else is the same?
Everything else is the same, stats and points and everything.
High Marshal Halbrecht, the Black Templar's High Marshal.
Yes.
No change?
No change other than the Warlord trait again.
So now he has the Imperium Sword, so his Warlord, and the Warlord, if he's the Warlord, then he and his unit have Furious Charge.
Yeah.
So, meh. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
The Emperor's Champion has changed, and it's changed quite a bit because he used to have the stances, right?
Yes, yeah.
They're rerollable 2+ armor save, which is really annoying. But now he's dropped that. Now this is the Emperor's Champion for Black Templar. I think I'm getting this confused. Let me pull up the old Space Marine Codex for a second.
Okay.
Did the Emperor's Champion of Black Templars have those stances, or was it the Grey Knights?
No, yeah, no, it was the Emperor's Champion. He had 2 stances. It was Slay the Heretic, and then he had another one, which escapes me now.
Hold on, I got it right here. If I can click it. Of course, it's making it so I can't click it. All right, hold on. I will find it. No, it's not where it goes.
Yeah, so essentially what happened was they removed one of the stances, and they just kept his stances as Slay the Heretic.
Smite the Unclean.
Smite the Unclean.
Yeah, Smite the Unclean gave him +2 strength, but then made him 2-handed and unwieldy. Yeah. But now he's got +2 strength to his weapon anyways.
Yes.
They gave him that. So they automatically gave him the +2 strength without making it all the bad stuff. And then Slay the Heretic was 6s or instant death.
Yes.
And so now he gets, in a challenge, he just automatically on 6s instant deaths.
Yeah.
All the time his weapon is +2 strength.
+2 strength.
And I think that was it.
Which is essentially a buff.
Yeah, so he's been buffed.
Yeah.
Which is good, because I think for all intents and purposes, he kind of sucked. Yeah, Slayer of Champions gave him... Oh, and he gets to reroll failed to hit rolls as well, which he might have been able to do.
I think he was able
to do that before, not in one of his stances. Yeah, so they buffed him overall. They made his sword +2 strength. It's not unwieldy. It's still mastercrafted. It's not 2-handed, so he can get the extra attack for having the bolt pistol. Still only 3 attacks, but that's better than it used to be.
Yeah.
Strength 6, AP 2,
Not
in a
bad.
challenge, getting to reroll hits,
Yeah.
insta-killing on 6s. Doesn't get the rerolled armor saves anymore, thankfully, because those are...
I think that's a thing that was only for the Grey Knights.
Oh, maybe that's the Grey Knights
champion.
one. Yeah, and he still has that.
He still has that.
I hate that one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Chaplain Grimaldus, the Black Templar's High Chaplain.
Grimaldus has been reduced by 35 points. And his Cenobite Servitors, special rule for Relics of Hell's Reach, have a Feel No Pain rather than a 6-up invuln.
So you can bring these servitors for 15 points each, and before they do a bubble of 6-up invuln, and now they have a bubble of Feel No Pain, which is way better, because you'd only get to use the invuln if there's something going through the armor.
Yes.
But Feel No Pain
Now
you
you
get to
can
use
use it.
unless you're being instant death.
Unless you're being instant.
Which won't be as often as something that it's like something that'll ignore your armor a lot more often than something that instant kills you.
Yeah,
So
you need a strength 8 weapon at least.
yeah, so basically that's a nice buff
Yeah.
to him, and a 35-point decrease, like you said.
That's
so,
a pretty big. I feel like it's.
well.
pretty
That gives him basically you can bring, if you compare him to the old one, you can bring 2 servitors for free
big. Yeah.
and still be 5 points down.
Yeah. There you go.
So maybe that's why they dropped it. They're like, yeah, let's drop him by 35 points, which is kind of
Let's have
random.
him have.
And
The
so he can take a couple
servitors.
servitors because maybe nobody was taking the servitors.
Yeah.
Not sure what that. But that's basically his only change.
Yeah.
And so that's all the special characters. I think we've covered everything except for we might have missed 1 or 2 of the warlord traits. So there, like some of the changes, I think will make a difference. Like I think of the champion obviously being buffed is nice for the
Yeah.
Black Templar. So Black Templar's players got a better champion.
Yes.
The Black Templars players also got a better Chaplain Grimaldus.
yeah.
So a couple buffs for the Black Templars. For the Salamanders, not much of a change. For the Ultramarines, there's been minor changes here
Minor
and there.
changes, maybe a few points reduced.
Yeah, the White Scars, there's the wording change, but honestly,
Wording, yeah.
I don't think you're going to see any change really from that.
for the name characters.
So overall, the all the special characters have had minor shifts and
Yeah.
remain mostly the same. Okay, so that's all we're going to cover in this video. So all about special characters. In our next video, we're going to start going into all the different HQ choices. So going through the captains and librarians and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see how far we can get in that. Tech Marine, all that. Because there have been some changes there as well. So that'll be at the link in the video description below, which you can click. It is for Vault members only, so if you're not a Vault member, you can still click it, get a free 7-day trial. All these videos are going out like rapid fire. We're doing 2 per day. And we're on number 5 and 6 here, so we should be, like, I think we're only going to get up to about 10, maybe 12 videos at total. So if you get the 7-day trial right now, you'll get access to all of them before your trial's even over. So you can totally check it out, get access to all the videos for free. And then if you like it, we hope you stay around, because most people do, because they get sucked in and they're like, oh, I can't leave the vault, because whatever their reason is, for all the thousands of battle reports and PvP tutorials and behind the scenes and supporting MiniWarGaming, allowing us to make these videos. We love our vault members, so thank you so much, guys. Let's go ahead, click the link below. Hearts. And happy wargaming.